last week, Elon Musk made a massive presentation called We Robot, where he introduced Tesla's recent prototypes of self-driving cars, self-driving taxis, self-driving train, and most importantly, androids. Androids. Tesla bots named Optimus. I think we should have Optimus Prime picture over here. I'm really in a pop culture mood today. Named Optimus, who can deal with our daily chores, which is great. So, my question to you, Michael, is should we start saving our money to get androids to our house, or is it just a marketing move from Musk?
Save up your money, absolutely. Save as much as you can, because I think Elon's got some great ideas here, and I think these are really game-changing technologies. Originally, I wasn't sure I was going to say that. I did some research, and I'm not a tech pessimist, but I think a lot of these things do get overhyped. A lot of it's marketing, Apple's car, this, that, and the other thing. You don't really know what technology is going to take off. But doing a deeper dive, I think these technologies are really phenomenal and solve a lot of key problems that society is facing today. So I'll break it down by sort of two of those technologies. So one is the autonomous robocar, or robotaxi as he calls it. A couple data points that I think highlight how important that technology will be. So in the US, for example, you have 42,000 traffic fatalities every year, which cost the country $340 billion in terms of an economic hit. 1.2 million people globally are killed in traffic incidents as well. It's a huge number of people. And the average country faces a 3 to 5% GDP cost just to deal with traffic accidents and all of the associated problems. I think that's huge. Musk is saying, again, he has a penchant to sometimes exaggerate, but he predicted that his autonomous vehicles and autonomous vehicles in general could be 10 to 30 times safer. So think about all the lives that would save. Think about all the cost savings that would be associated with that in the society. I think that's phenomenal. I think that's I think that's coming as well, and we need to embrace that. People are concerned about, what if my car suddenly goes rogue, or this, that, and the other thing. It's much more dangerous for people just to drive, whether you're a bit tired, whether you're a bit distracted. I trust the technology actually much more than I trust the individual driver. That's me personally, and I think the data will bear that out. On top of that, what's so interesting about his concept is not just that you're buying an autonomous car, but his concept of turning the car not from a depreciating asset, but an appreciating asset. What a fascinating concept. So he's saying when you buy a car, you're actually buying an investment. You're not buying a piece of junk that's going to be useless in 5 years. He's saying when you're not using the car, we will allow the autonomous self-driving car to go pick up other people. So now you can almost have an Uber type of model or a Lyft type of model from your car. So instead of losing money paying every single year on, whatever it is, the interest payments or this, that, the car is less valuable once you drive it off the lot, right? Instead, your car actually retains its value. And if anything, can provide you another income stream. That's great. I mean, what's there not to like about that? I also read here, so I think what's the car going to go for? About $30,000? Is that the
$30K? Yeah.
$30,000. The average American, when they buy a new car in the U.S., do you know how much money they spend on a new car?
$50,000?
$47,000. Good guess. $47,338. So now you're saying Elon Musk comes along and says, "I'll sell you this car for what? 40% cheaper." Plus, you're able to make a little bit of money on it by having that car be part of this Uber type of model. It's great. There's nothing not to like about it. Now, the only drawback is you're going to need to create the infrastructure around that. The technology probably isn't here just yet, but that's an amazing concept. And I don't think that's marketing. I think, again, we're talking about the guy who built SpaceX. We're talking about the guy who, again, is leading Tesla. I mean, the dude is capable of, pretty incredible things. So I think it's a great concept. I think it's transformative, and I think you should be saving up your money for that. On the Optimus point, again, phenomenal technology, phenomenal concept. So now that one, initially I was more skeptical of. I was thinking, okay, who wants to spend $20,000 to $30,000 on some iRobot from the movie who's just going to sit there, do your chores and all that? It's pretty expensive, whatever you want to call it, purchase, just to have this thing cook you food, do your dishes, clean your house. But then the more that I looked into it, check out this data point. In the US, do you know how much time people spend on chores, on just doing stuff around the house and all of that stuff?
I would assume somewhere around 15 hours a week.
So I don't know about per week, but I know per year it's about 200 hours a year, 208 hours a year, which equates to almost 9 full days, which means every day for a little bit less than an hour, you're doing chores around the house. If you were to extrapolate that into the time for your labor, right, the unpaid value of all that time, for the average U.S. adult, it's $7,200 a year of time you spend on chores. It's actually a pretty good chunk of money. So if you're a family where you've got, a spouse at home, the two of you are going to spend the equivalent of $14,000 a year on all these chores, cleaning up, mowing the lawn, doing this, doing that. So Elon Musk comes along and he's saying for $20,000 to $30,000, you can buy a robot, some Optimus, whatever he calls it, and this thing will do all of that for you. It's Optimus. Okay.
Optimus.
Yeah, fine. That's great. Again, that's an economic benefit. Now, what does that let you do? That lets you not just take away all of that, clutter in your life, all of these chores that you need to do. You can now be more productive at work. Maybe you work a little bit longer hours. Maybe you have more leisure time. Maybe you could take care of your health a little bit better, go to the gym, spend time with your kids, de-stress, pursue a second hobby, pursue a side job, for example. It's a net benefit no matter how you look at it. So for me, if you ask me, which you did, the question of would I be saving up money for Optimus? Yes, 100%. Save up money for Optimus, save up money for Robotaxi. This is some incredible stuff. What's your take on it?
Okay, I agree with you, but for all the different arguments.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So I agree with you in principle, but I consider completely different points. And I agree with you also on the point where there are some concerns and there are some risk of this being more of a marketing move or a little bit exaggerating or whatever, as you said.
Oh, I don't think there's any marketing. I think it's genuinely a great actual product.
You said there might be some exaggerating where I agree.
Okay.
I don't think it's purely marketing. I said it's a huge technological advancement, and I agree we should save money for this, and I'm sure I will be. Mm-hmm. Okay. So for the cars, that's fine. I think it's already there. Like a lot of the technology, technological things he mentioned, they're already there. You have already self-driving taxis. There is what's a company called Waymo, right? Mm-hmm. In San Francisco, I guess, where they actually really competing with Uber. And the cost per ride is pretty much the same. So people, like a lot of people, they prefer to use this Waymo because it's you get the Jaguar car that drives safely and so on. I think we will see about the incidents, but again, I agree with all these numbers, and I have the same point. I think the risk of human error is way more frequent compared to technological error. So I would also say that I would rather trust my life when I'm in the taxi. I would rather trust my life to the autonomous taxi rather than to a tired driver who's been driving 20 hours this day already. Then when it comes to the androids, the Optimus, I was mostly surprised by this because when I saw the presentation where I saw the Optimus bartender, that was pretty cool. Have you seen it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was pretty cool. But again, a lot of this technology is already there. Boston Dynamics have their dog, which is also pretty cool and can do pretty nice tricks and all of this. It's also pretty much there, and I think yes, we can use our. We can trust a lot of things that we do daily to these robots. However, again, even though I'm a technical optimist, I can see quite some concerns over here. So you basically let this robot in your daily life. They pretty much live with you, and I think again, I would feel safer to have robots doing housekeeping instead of inviting housekeeper from the outside. I would feel safer. I would be more convinced that the robot will not steal from me or something like that. However, when you enter the piece of technology in your, like, let piece of technology in your life, I think there is a risk that it can be hacked, it can be controlled by someone, and all these conspiracy things. However, they're happening. Just today, I saw the news where the group of hackers in America, they hacked the robo vacuum cleaners. They hacked them, and they got the access to their camera, to their house map, and to their speakers. So what they started to do, they started hunting the pets. So can you imagine, like, the the army of robo vacuum cleaners hunting the pets in their houses? I know it sounds funny, but there is a risk of that, and I would love to be sure that when we let the robots in our lives, like, we are kind of protected from this risk. So again, knowing how Musk and Tesla can exaggerate the things, I think there are a couple of things they announced. We are still waiting for them. And I think they announced that Tesla will cost like $20,000. I don't see Tesla cost $20,000. I mean, Tesla cars, regular cars. And a lot of technology is already there. And again, I agree that we should save money, but okay, keep in mind that we should be cautious about this, and keep in mind that Tesla can exaggerate some of the things. So it probably will come later than we might expect.
Yeah, so I agree with the timeline, because I think Musk himself said it in, I think it was either right after or during the actual forum or session, however you want to call it, that he tends to exaggerate timelines. But to your point...
Oh, he said that?
Yeah, he said. He was like, yeah, I tend to be a bit overly optimistic about timelines, so I'm saying late 2025 for optimists. Maybe it's a little bit later, so I think people are sort of building in that, yeah, Musk tends to do a bit of that. So that's where the marketing, to me, comes in.
Okay.
But not the concept. I think the concept is again phenomenal and serves a clear economic need, and I think it's something that really would benefit just society at large. Now, to your point though about your concern, fine, I agree with you, but that's a concern you have with all technology. So
True.
Okay, so you're not necessarily having concern that the technology is somehow a degree of change in terms of the risk, right? I mean, you're just saying that, like any other technology, you need to be careful around security and all of that, because a phone could be hacked. I mean, as you said, the vacuum cleaner could be hacked. So what's unique about the risk then with the robot?
The risk with the robot, with the Optimus, the risk is that this is actually like human-size piece of tech in your house that have access to your knives, to your kitchen, to your clothes, to your neck when you're sleeping.
Sure.
That's the concern.
Okay, I got it. So you've seen iRobot, obviously.
Of course.
Okay, so I think that's maybe what you're... And by the way, fair. I mean, it is a legitimate risk if you could hack the robot itself. That's a much bigger concern. Fine, I understand that, and I agree with that. But again, I think it's like anything else. We've already accepted so much, so much technological vulnerability into our lives. I mean, think about online banking. We do everything from our phone. All you got to do is hack into the phone. You got access to everything. So... would I be concerned about my, iRobot or Optimus, strangling me in the middle of the night? No, but it's a fair concern to have, and that's where the cybersecurity comes in and all that. But yeah, I think it's a great technology, a great concept, and I think we agree on that.